Alright, I forgot to start recording at a proper time. Here's round 8 of 2026, Season 3 of Fuji for Rebels Out Racing. Yeah. You will be hearing, obviously, myself and the
Tire temps are
broadcast
cold.
backend.
Let's get a little bit of heat built up. We expect to finish in P17.
8 here in Fuji. It's myself, Brad, joined in the booth as always by Patrick and Phoenix, who's become a great acquaintance here as we are already on the grid. I mistimed things for the first time in a while. So grid is scrolling, grid is rolling, and well, Patrick, my friend, as they get rolling, how are you doing today?
I mean, we are at the superior Japanese track, so I mean, I could not be much happier. And just, I was talking, me and Phoenix were talking with Dwight a little bit earlier, and we were actually seeing how there was a bunch of spray on this track. It's a very interesting situation that we find ourselves with here in Fuji. Fuji is such a fun track. It's got a lot of good overtaking opportunities. There's no chicane right after the Dunlap corner like there normally would be, so we skip right from turn 10 to turn 12, which even then is really a straight, so we really just skip from 10 to 13. But yeah, this is going to be a really, really good one. Fuji never disappoints.
It does not, and of course 2.8 miles of action here, bringing on the go today, and I very much am excited to see how this plays out as our grid scrolls. 40 drivers joining us here on the day, and we're going to cut this grid very, very close to the green flag. Again, apologies to everyone there for the timing being slightly off. First time for everything, I have to say, as our cars are rolling down the line and we get ready to go. It's a long front straightaway here that the pace car will pull in on. And as it does so, we'll get ready here for the go. It's 4 GTPs, or 5 GTPs, and 11 LMP2s. Get ready to roll here. We're looking for the green flag.
Check your belts one more time.
We are waiting. We're waiting a little bit longer. We're going to keep waiting for a second. We're still waiting.
Green, green, green.
I really shouldn't queue up the Jeopardy theme. We're green, we're racing. Here we go, and you can see that little bit of spray coming up off the back of the GTPs as our 5 GTPs get rolling here. Nick Terrell trying to look all the way to the inside here on Eric Wineland and Dylan Acker for some moves here around the outside. Of course, Dylan Acker, defending champion here and leading the points, trying to go through, but Eric Wineland trying to have a say on that as we go back to LMP2s who are getting their roll down into turn number 1. A great move for them as they get going. They all survive, and well, this is the one I'm worried about. Wet weather GTD, Pro GTD, they get their way rolling along here, and this is where things are going to get a little bit interesting as they all roll through and along and get their way in, and at least here in the go, they get their way along, and Corey Williams, showing the leader at GTD, is actually up in LMP2. We'll fix that here at some point here in the broadcast. Don't worry, we're good here for the first minute. Everyone getting their way along in, and well, here you go. This is the current run here. We hop on board with Kyle O'Grady. A little bit of water, but it's still everyone on dry tires.
Which, that in itself is such a bedazzling thing, as Eric Wineland in the lead of this one currently trying to find any kind of gap. He's finding some bits, but I mean, it's an interesting situation. The track is wet, we can spray, but the dry tires are the superior tires. So now they're going to make their way down the start-finish line, making their way to Daichi Corner, the turn 1, the really sharp hairpin at the end of this fantastic straight. Deep on the brakes, a little bit of a wobble there. Antonio Costa, he's going to continue to try to get chase as the 2 BMWs try to use the screaming American muscle of that Cadillac as they continue to work their way through, now heading over to Coca-Cola corner. And this is interesting because I don't think it's actively raining at the moment, but you still need the wipers because the spray just being kicked off of the GTPs is just so much that it might as well be raining.
Absolutely, it's not raining at the moment, but it is, again, that spray there. So 10 or 15 minutes here of the race definitely going to be a bit interesting so far. Looks like so far Everyone surviving and getting away here as we hop on board with Parker Chiapuzzo, who is working to make some moves along here. Brian Medderly and Simon Johns all mixing in this LP2 battle here in the mid-pack. This is for third place back, is really where things are getting interesting, as we have Simon Johns here going side by side with Brian Medderly. Brian Medderly opting to do a little bit early on the brakes there, play it a bit safe here, looking through at how these drivers are battling. They're being respectable so far, and I think they're all very much tiptoeing around here, knowing what the track conditions are. Simon Johns goes a bit wide, and
Next
Brian
car ahead of
Medderly
us is car number 12.
Yeah, this track has a lot of good opportunities to really make some moves. I mean,
Okay,
especially since we're not running the chicane on the exit of Dunlop Corner. Now, a lot of people do like the chicane there. It's not the worst chicane in motorsports, but considering that we have 3 classes here, or 3 vehicle types across 4 classes, it just makes sense to go with no chicane. It's also what iRacing uses for the officials, so it just makes sense to kind of keep the continuity. But now we're going to see as the number 46 of Brian Medderly, who's getting real close to Mark Chiapuzzo into that McLaren-themed LMP2 machine as they continue to battle their way through Sector 1. Now, I was going to be curious as to what tires were going to be used, but in practice, a lot of drivers were using the wets to really just try to track off, essentially, using the wet tires, because the whole design by the wet tires is, aside from actually giving you grip on the wetter parts of the track, it's meant to kind of disperse the water a bit. So
hold your line.
Here we go. It's Eric Weiland still struggling, but Dylan Acker's got the inside line.
Clear left.
He's gonna try to make the run.
That's the stuff.
They're now coming down the massive Fuji Straightway. And there he goes. He's gonna get into the lead, but Eric Weiland already right back in the slipstream. The Cadillac is coming back in full force. He's gonna make a move to the outside. And is he going to be able to swing it into Daichi? The answer is no. Maybe a switch back between. Not quite. Dylan Ackley. Oh, sorry, excuse me. That's Antonio Costa in the lead now. Dylan Ackley actually still down in third. So the 2 teammates sitting P1 and P3 right now. And so far, that BMW, whether it was the hands of Costa or Dylan Ackley, has been in the lead and has won every single round so far this season.
Hold your line.
Ridiculous here.
Clear
honestly.
right.
And I'm pulling this up so we can look at the manufacturer.
Right side. Clear right.
But
Car right.
you know, we don't talk a lot about what manufacturers certain drivers run and how that plays out, but it really does affect things. And of course,
clear right.
certain tracks cater to certain cars a little bit better in their driving style. So one of the things that I really like
On your
to
right.
watch for is how
On your line.
kind of go through where
Still
they
there.
find
Clear right.
sometimes
20. We need to put for fuel by lap
in a
29.
position
Put
much
the windows
stronger
open.
than you would expect.
Car right.
Yeah, it's pretty
Still there.
because I remember the Porsche was
Still there.
actually
Clear right.
super strong last season, and now this time it feels like it shifts every single season.
Next car ahead is
Whatever car
number
Dylan
59.
Ackley just becomes the strongest car of the season, because it was Porsche last time around. This time it's BMW. I mean, what's next? Is he going to give Ferrari a championship before the F1 team can grab a championship?
I
was gonna
knew
say
you were
Ferrari
going
took
there,
it, but
Patrick. I
The
knew
WEC team
it.
took it last year across the board, so I can't really say Ferrari entirely, but I can still throw the F1 team under the bus on occasion.
Yeah, you're not wrong there, to be honest. So, you know, it's one of those fun ones that it definitely is.
Expect a clear track on
to
exit.
see how it plays out, but he is a very, very strong driver all the way through, and I think it just goes to show, honestly, just his skill with everything. I don't think it's really a case of one over the other. I think it's genuinely a situation
Gap
where
to
he is that
D8.
strong
Ahead is
of
now
a driver
0.6.
here. We are going through up in the front, taking a look at the GTD and GTD Pro. Gage Hyams here up through. We've got a pass for second in GTD going right now. David Pinero and Dave
P19.
Seems like GTD just didn't get a strong start here. Gage Hyams, by the way, class, that 8.8 second gap is accurate over Jeff Koffel, his teammate who's running down here in second. So, I mean, there are a few AMs mixed in with the pros here in GT, and it's interesting to kind of see where they find themselves right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's interesting that there's actually a lot of, we're not even 10 minutes in, there's some pretty strong gaps that have already formed. The only exception is his GTD class, with Daniel Pinero just trying to chase the lead out in his McLaren. And yeah, there's already some huge gaps here. Again, also, GTP is pretty close as well. So LMP2, GTD Pro, they have some pretty strong gaps going on at the moment. But Antonio Costa hasn't been able to entirely shake Eric Wineland, but right here in the battle for P2 is heating up. You got three fantastic drivers in fantastic machines. You got Dane Harrison, Dana Pinero, and there's also Andrew Chorstecki also right there in the mix in GTD. So battle for second place going on. Harrison and Pinero, they're going to continue to fight tooth and nail as they make their way down into the chicane, or into the first turn.
On your right, clear right.
You can make some
Right
late
side,
lunges
clear
here
right.
in Fuji, but I mean, with the track still being partially wet, out of C1, there's a move from Jeff Koffel from a mile back, trying to get the move done, and he does get the move done from downtown, sinking the 3. He's up in the P2.
And barely getting that done there for Jeff Koffel. Again, that's a move on mixed class traffic. Dane Harrison, of course, in the GTP AM category. Jeff Koffel,
Left side.
Pro, just trying to get through
Clear
some
left.
fields to get moved up to have a run at his teammate.
Trusting Nick.
Sitting in the lead right now. William Westbrook here in third. Here is third place in GTP as we've had a moment with Brian Metterly around trying to come into the track. Will rejoin, try to get going. The 320 there, Bob Carey sticks to the outside. And, well, let's take a look at what just happened.
Reeling, car number 59 in, gaps now 0.32, yellow.
And I can tell you right now, I've got even worse news to pull up here in just a moment. So we're going to watch this replay first, and then we'll go and I will break the hearts of every fan of
There's
this
a faster class car
driver
behind you.
here. Here's Brian Metterly. This is the moment for Brian, and that is just a unfortunate slow spin. But this is the even worse news
Oh,
coming
not
from
again.
Dylan Ackley.
Not
That's back
again.
out. Oh my gosh, and that's back out on Aaron Clayball here. Let's dial up another one.
Car right, clear right.
I don't think that was near enough of a run there for how that one happened.
D18.
So we'll go in another replay here. So this is going to be coming through. This is coming around here, and well, get one more angle of that there, and boom. That is so unfortunate. Just trying to get through the traffic. Got a little bit brave on the inside. Aaron Clayball not really doing anything wrong there. I think that is an unfortunate moment of our championship leader misjudging.
The track's heating up. It's now going to be Fahrenheit.
To Aaron Clayball. Aaron Clayball now in the pits here. You see coming out on the right-hand side will come through, had to take the faster pair. That gives the lead to Antonio Costa now, 1.6 seconds ahead of Eric Wineland. And, well, do we say the same? Do we say the same? I think we say the same. That's a case of traffic taking away.
Yeah, and I mean, Dylan Atkins just had such a rough go at it in the last couple of rounds with traffic.
Sorry, Koppel.
It
I
seemed
know
like
that wasn't
every
you, but that's
round
typical.
from Brazil onwards, he has had some kind of come together with traffic. He was able to rectify it at Road America, but I mean, that was just really rough. And I know as a GTP, you want to try to get past these GTDs and LMP2 as quick as humanly possible. But with that being said, there are still some very wet parts of the racetrack. So, with that also being said, going for a lot of optimistic moves, all high risk and honestly medium reward at best. So, I mean, especially with a long straight here at Fuji, there's actually a handful of decent straights and good overtaking opportunities. Yeah, it was a bit of an optimistic one, but also you touched that wet line, and wets plus slicks equals a lot of sliding. But here we go, Nicholas Paletti trying to get the move done. He's gonna go for it, and he's gonna just try to send it down. Good on the brakes. A bit too late on the brakes.
This car's really holding us up.
Oh, I have done that one a million times before. I'm sure we all have. You carry so much speed going into Daiichi that it's just too much. And you just overcook the brakes, and that is about all she wrote there. As now we make our way through Coca-Cola and 100R, and then coming up to the hairpin. And yeah, that is just rough business there. But it happens to the best of us.
That it does. That's the case of just hard in battle, and sometimes you miscalculate a moment there, and it results in, well, that here as we jump here. Parker Chiabuzzo trying to fight with Kylo Brady. There down to the inside, you see the dampness. I think now we're really seeing more of the dampness come into play on the track than we were before. And honestly, the track doesn't even look that wet. This is just kind of residual water that's sitting that's causing all of these moments to happen. We jump back again with
Right side.
still running through Jeff Koffel, being able to
Roger line. Clear right.
As William Westbrook trying to work up the inside again. This is not an in-class battle. This is an inter-class battle that is going on, as Aiden Garcia would love to work through here and get a move to the inside, get past this slower traffic, but it does seem like really the only moment that these GTPs are finding a pace advantage is down the straightaway. And by the way, we're only 15 minutes into this race, so we're only a quarter of the way through on this round. Rounds coming up on this season. We are looking into the future, of course, and well, next week we have coming up Daytona Road Course. In 2 weeks' time, it's going to be VIR. In 3 weeks' time, it's a potential wet road Atlanta. And I say potential because there's a 15% chance of rain, but I'd like to remind everyone there was a 4% chance of rain here in Fuji, and well, we got rain in Fuji. So, and then of course, on September 2nd, this season will end the 24 hours of Le Mans layout, but we are doing a 90-minute of Le Mans, so that will end the season out.
This car's holding us up. Gotta get around them.
Exciting way to finish out the season. We're finishing with 3 American tracks, and then of course Classic Le Mans. I think this end of season layout really is one of the best that we've had in a while for the final 4 tracks after this year.
Nice and smooth. You got it. E16.
Yeah, I mean, you got and it's a good mix, right? Because obviously this is the IMSA Invitational, so there's going to be a huge emphasis on IMSA run tracks. But you do have a good mix of other fantastic venues as well. Daytona, Classic, I mean, you know, the Rolex 24, the Daytona 200, the Daytona 500. There's some really good races that happen in Daytona. And then, of course, VIR, another fantastic venue. Road Atlanta is one of my favorite American tracks. It is such a golden track to race on. And then, of course, the endurance leg of the Triple Crown of Motorsport, the 24 hours of Le Mans. Granted, it's only a 90-minute race, but still, I mean, it's Le Mans. It's such a classic track. It's a good classic track as well. I know Howie might disagree about Le Mans being a good track, but I think it's a good track.
Yeah, but Howie, respectfully, Howie is a Brit.
There's
They
faster
have
classes.
some amazing times. Here's an interesting take. Michael Garagilla currently leading Jeff Koffel here. GTD leading the GTD Pro, and this is, again, second place
goodbye, Steve.
is where we're sitting right now with this. So Michael Garagilla leading GTD, Jeff Koffel second place in
that's not what a
GTD
break
Pro,
number 1.
and it seems like there is just still something in the water that is really causing this to shuffle up. I'm going to pull up who's on what tires here on the right-hand side, so that way you can see if it is black like that, that means they are on dry tires. And I will say, just looking through, there's not a soul on wet tires. I was curious to see this here because, I mean, genuinely, usually the only time we see that much of a pace difference is dry versus wet tires.
Threw me off. I'm
dry
gonna beat
track.
myself.
So not seeing that.
Car
Not
left.
sure what is causing this difference here.
Clear left.
Picture that's Marissa on YouTube chat, by the way, pointing out water in the curve.
On your left.
So we do still have some damage
Clear
on the
left.
track. I think it is catching some
Fast,
drivers
this
out
guy,
there.
keep pushing.
Marissa is probably one of the most observant people I have ever had the pleasure of knowing, and she brings up a very good point, as we're about to bring up hopefully a very good replay here.
Daniel Monero with a tap there to the wall. Benjamin Bechtel, unfortunately, has had a moment with Bob Carey, and that's Brian Metterly getting in the mix of that as well. One more look at that here, and I'll let someone else play judgment on that. Actually, I'll have to play judgment on it later. And there's the water on the curb we talked about. That's Dave McGuire with a little bit of help there, but that is unfortunately what happened there. And then Nathan Hemberly. What happened to Nathan Hemberly here that we missed? Let's check this one out here. Oh, let's pull that on a better picture. Here we go. That is Hemberly. Water on the curbs yet again, and somehow not really getting that much damage, all things considered. So.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, it definitely has. I was actually gonna kind of echo the sentiment that Marissa was saying in the YouTube chat. Now, the curbs, they will stay wet, and oh, that's another moment happening there. GTD's having a bit of a moment there.
Faster plus car behind you.
Oh boy, it has just been a tricky day here. Michael Bowman involved on that one. But here's the thing, the curbing and the runoffs are a different material than the track, a much slipperier material. So it hit those cars off even in the dry, but in the wet, when those things are wet, I mean, a wet floor sign will probably just slide right off there at that point. As you're just optimistic moving.
I had to take this one back quite a bit. That's Joshua Bibb there going with Michael Bowman. Now, Joshua Bibb is a pro. Bowman is an AM. And that is where that moment came in. Now, I don't know exactly why that happened. That started quite a ways back with a battle between those two that resulted in that. Now, I don't really understand why that one came to. And unfortunately, that does mean Bowman is going to have to pit with some damage. We've had a couple of takers for pit stops just due to damage alone. One of them being Brian Metterly in L2. Now, of course, Michael Bowman in as well. Andrew Torstecki and Aaron
On your left.
Faster plus car behind you.
here.
Still there.
So we're seeing a little bit of mix up on strategy.
Hold your line.
Not somewhere wrong.
Still there.
Yeah, because
Clear left.
usually the pit strategy is pretty
Next car
straightforward.
is car number
And Jojo
79.
Costa making his way through traffic. Usually, it really falls between one of two main strategies. You usually see it where, I mean, you have to still take all four tires, regardless of whether it's rain or shine. That's still a thing, taking all four tires. You can't just take just the rights, just the lefts, just the fronts, just the backs. Somewhere diagonal mix, I don't think
Left
it's
side.
possible or even
Clear left.
sensible. But usually it's, you know, with like 15 minutes to go or 20 minutes to go is usually when the switch happens. So seeing a mix, I mean, I am a nerd when it comes to strategy. I love seeing all the different strategies and just kind of weighing the pros and cons of them. Although being an engineer would be very
Faster
stressful,
plus car behind you.
I can imagine. But it's fun to see. I'm curious to see how it plays out, especially with these tricky conditions, as the Acura makes its way through the field.
As we go through the field here and along the streets, this is Garcia who is trying to work up through the field, getting in between the battle between Emily Milton and Bob Carey. In LMP2, looking at the championship standings as they currently sit and going in to see where that goes. Of course, results and standings are very, very low. It's a hard-fought battle right now. The thing to remember too is
Get that
Car
car,
left.
you should get like a 2 seconds.
Clear left.
It's a point structure, so points can swing a lot quicker than you would think. Right now, Nicholas Paletti currently leading LMP2 as a 6 in the points over Brian Medley, Smith Smith in third. Smith Smith is currently leading right now in this run, so Smith Smith will gain a good slew of points and will start to work back up. Should pass Brian
leader
Medley
coming up behind
in
you.
the point standings and move forward. In GTD Pro, Gage Hyams has a dominant lead right now, over 200 points over Paul O'Malley, who is not here this week. This is his second out week where he
Right side.
not here.
Clear right.
Paul O'Malley, of course, is known as Dad Man, so he's a dad obligation. That's why. Colin Bourdon, third in points. Jeff Goffman, fourth.
On your right.
And then in GTD,
Clear right.
Michael Bowman, who has a slew of second places and a win on the season. Leading Daniel Pinero, who has 2 wins, but unfortunately just hasn't had a good showing otherwise. In GTD, of course, Michael Bowman.
You gotta be more confident than that, John. You just gotta pass him.
When you can finish strong, but right now, sitting
Car left.
in
Clear
GTD,
left.
probably
Just trying to
not.
prevent
Left
them
side.
and then
Clear left.
Yeah, especially as we are just seemingly rapidly coming through the races. And I mean, I still remember the beginning of the season, like we were just beginning
Yeah, I
the
did mine.
season, and it was a great
Pass
time.
yourself back there.
I mean, we were at Watkins Glen. It was a good race, and I remember being excited for Miami. And then you blink, we're at Fuji already. We only got like 3 rounds after this. So, I mean, we got 4 rounds this season. We got 4 more rounds left. We are already, after tonight, we will be 2/3 of the way through the season, which is just mind-boggling how fast time has flown by since then, as we have a lot of few cars, although thankfully this time not literally, flying down the main straight.
Going down the main straight here, topping out on the go at very, very high speeds. Continuing to run through. These drivers really pushing this out. 280 kilometers an hour top speed for
There's a
an
faster class car behind you.
See where these are topping out here. It's up on board with Antonio Costa. Here we go. Coming up, 190. Do we see 200? I see 193 right before the lift and coast to the braking zone. Being a little conservative, right? Being a little more smooth. But Antonio Costa playing a bit conservative here. Of course, when you're leading by 12 seconds, no sense in pushing it too far here. You can afford to just sort of breathe
Pressure when you're at faster.
on your runs, right on board, and just kind of enjoy. Again, this track, this Fuji track that is the world's better of the two popular Japanese tracks. I said what I said, and if you disagree, well,
On your left.
you don't know Fuji. That's all I'm saying.
Hold your line. Clear left.
Yeah, exactly. This is, I mean, Suzuka is good for time trialing, but when it comes to actual racing, I mean, it's hard to beat Fuji. There's some other good Japanese tracks, but out of the main 2,
Got some
I mean,
faster cars coming up behind you.
I'm just gonna say it. I mean, even recently, the Haas F1 team started doing a lot of their testing here at Fuji.
Car right.
Probably has a lot to do with
Clear
the
right.
Toyota partnership, but still, it's such a fantastic venue. You get a little bit of everything here. As oh, look at this Antonio Costa just sweeping around 2 cars as he makes his way down the straight, and you can see that the wiper is actually selectively being turned
On your
on
left.
and off. So he keeps it off until he
Hold your
actually
line.
needs it. So
Clear left.
just shows you how many active
Left side.
changes
Clear
drivers
left.
are making
There you go,
constant,
drive
on the
it.
constant.
Car right.
It's a lot that goes on
Clear
in the sequence
Next
car.
guy ahead of us is car number
All of
74.
the intimate,
On your right.
settings, hearing,
Hold your line.
report,
Still
So
there.
loud.
Clear right.
P13.
your battery deployment, your recharge, everything that goes into running.
You got a faster class car behind you.
Very
Left side.
complex car.
Still there.
Well, if you can do it well, you
Hold
can
your
be
line.
very, very. 32 minutes
Still
to
there.
go. Smith leading in LMP2 as we
Hold
talked
your
about.
line.
Has
Clear
some
left.
big changes
You used to have your fuel.
on the season as he goes through. Currently has behind him Jeff Koffel, again second place in pro, and in the lead is Gage Hyams here in GTD Pro, coming off the final corners. We're 32 minutes left to go. There is still plenty of time for the action on track to develop up and down.
A couple faster cars coming up behind you.
Currently leading right now over Nathan Harrison, 3.2 seconds in GTD. We've got a good battle going from P6 in GTD. Involves White Hibbs, Christopher Ondera, and Steve Veronica, who are battling it out, but they're broken up by a slew of prototypes to include Kyle O'Grady here. That's a Garcia in the mix who is breaking up this battle a little bit. There is another element back there, Simon Johns, who is breaking this up. So that is a battle that is developing, but of course when you've got faster traffic all trying to navigate their way through you here at this track, which is really not the easiest
Car right.
for prototypes on the railway.
Clear right.
It mixes things up quite a bit.
I was like 3 wide.
Especially when there's a huge wet line still on the racing track, as we can still see the spray kicking up on the offline from a lot of these cars. Here is your weather as it sits at the moment: 72 degrees in the air, track temp about 75. And that was a bit of a deep moment there for Ada Garcia. You will want to try to shoot past this Mustang as quick as humanly possible. Partly cloudy, and I mean, the humidity is 90%.
You were in my
so
blind spot the entire
we're
time.
just trying to
I don't have
contemplate
monitors
Florida,
behind you.
which I mean,
Clear left.
hey, we are heading to Florida in the very near future when we head to Daytona. But as the Mustang
I was on cold
goes
tires. I
through,
was trying to look.
that is going to be Daniel
Gap two,
Kent,
car
5th in class in the 74 Mustang.
1.6.
And am I the only one that immediately thinks Mountain Dew when I see his livery? Because it looks very Mountain Dew.
Dude, I do too.
I think that's done on purpose because that ARL racing logo,
It looks Mountain
other
Dew.
than the one on the hood looking very Todd Hewer, of course. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like what we just cut to at all as they come along. The LMP2's battling. That's, of course, the 8 and the 119 going side by side for position right behind Daniel Kent here. And if you're Daniel Kent, you're thinking, okay, this will be out of juice.
Reeling, car number
We're on the
74
straightaway. You all
in. Gaps
go
now,
around me,
1.2
sort
seconds.
yourselves out. But yeah, you can see the logo on the front of Daniel Kent's car. It's very, very Top Gear-esque, but I think everything else is purposely Mountain Dew themed out. I feel like there has been a racing Mustang that's like Mountain Dew. Side by side right now, 4 P6, Simon Johns, Kyle O'Grady working side by side. Kyle O'Grady on the outside there in the Sleepy Turtles LMP2, the silver and green. Goes hard on the brakes there, brakes a little bit earlier. Simon Johns able to break it later, able to take that Audi inspired LMP2, move up into number 6.
Coming from P7 to P6, Simon John's now going to try to look at trying to chase down Marco Chiapuzio as the Audi continues to make its way on through. It's also crazy to think that Audi really hasn't been in any major motorsport up until recently. They used to dominate in the LMP1 field, and they were one of the first constructors to really get a grip on diesel engines and use those to overwhelming success in Le Mans about a decade ago. Which, even saying that makes me feel old. I still sometimes think a decade was back in, like, 2006, 2009. No, a decade ago was literally 2016, which I think I already feel more gray hairs growing as Benjamin Bechtel moves ahead.
You're reeling, car number 74 in. Gaps down to
19
0.7.
overall, still currently 11th in class, as he is on a bit of a recovery drive from earlier.
I
But yeah,
almost feel
we'll have to see how this one kind of pans out. We should be seeing some pit stops here soon. I think a few drivers have.
completely
P10
missed that.
at
Pit
traffic.
stops,
Just looking
I
at
think
about
Ken,
13
Zach
laps
Nerney,
of fuel.
Dane Harrison. A few drivers have actually made pit stops, and Dylan Acker actually still in pit, so that was his race done and
Next car ahead is
done.
car number 777.
Unfortunately, on this race, that's so unfortunate to see Dylan Ackley's out. Zach Nerney is stopped inside of Dylan Ackley. Don't know that that's the best option for the 31. I mean, I don't know that I would want to stop inside of him, but he has actually made a manufacturer change over to the Corvette, and with that is a new paint scheme. Actually, that is the car on the thumbnail here, so a big shout out goes to Zach Nerney And Michael Bowman, who helps provide a lot of our thumbnails here, give us a lot of shots. Sleepy Turtle teammates here, GTD and LMP2 swapping positions there. That's the 777 and Matthew Marin letting the teammate across class, Kyle O'Grady, of course, currently running 7th in LMP2, works through. 27 minutes left to go in this race currently.
Track temps up, it's now 77 Fahrenheit.
Here in GTD Pro now is also, that's Aiden Garcia in the LMP2, or GTD category, who is pitting in. Can you tell I was looking at LMP2 while I said that?
Yeah, I can see where
Gap
the
to car
connection
79,
happened.
behind is now 1.6
Might have
seconds.
not been the correct connection, but I do see where the dots were connected. I'll be curious to see if this prompts a response from the other GTPs as they make their way into the pits, probably in the next lap or so. This is about when pit stops usually happen, usually after like the first half of the race, or first 40 minutes of the race. That's usually the pit stop window, track dependent.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that we still have our leader out right now. I didn't think that our leader would be out, but he is at the moment still running through. Jim Steele here following the back of Kerry Cochran, who is working along here. Will Weaver, by the way, right on the back of Michael Garagella now. Michael again leading in GTD, trying to work through the challenge against Will Weaver here, who is a pro, who is trying to work along as they go out onto the main straight. And it looks like potentially both of them diving into pits. That is correct, but no, actually, Will Weaver will decide to dive back out there. Michael Garagella into the pits, though. And we haven't talked about that Fuji pit entry of the chicane through. I want to see if I can catch someone coming into the pits to show that a bit better, because it can catch you off guard if you're not really ready for it.
It's a very sharp chicane coming into that Fuji pit lane. English is hard. I mean, I'm American, but English is not my first language. Gibberish apparently is. As the other B2s now going ahead and getting past the Lamborghini Huracan, and that is the Sleepy Turtles LMP2 trying to make his way on through. That is Kyle O'Grady just swinging it around the outside ahead of Dayton McGuire, as now it is still going to be. And I think we actually have maybe a slight bit of, I mean, it looks like a battle, but it is just the battle lap traffic here, as Dave McGuire currently is P14 in class, the last car on the grid out of the driver, still currently racing. Still a good amount of time without change, as James Melee is going to go ahead and try to chase down course run. As now we see Antonio Costa in the pits in his BMW.
There's a faster class car behind you.
Antonio Costa into the pits here, and now stopped in the box. Actually, no, having trouble finding his box.
Oh no.
I've never seen a driver have an issue finding their box.
Something must have happened.
I'll
Yeah,
let
I
Daryl,
mean,
they take your line.
I've seen it happen a few times in the real
Gap
world.
to
I've seen
56
it happen, but
heads now.
did he actually find
5.2
it?
seconds.
Now he's found it. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen, and that should actually, all of that lead that Antonio Costa had, by the way,
Watch your
is
speed.
now
Okay, pit speed is
absolutely
37
gone. That's going to
miles
hand
per
that
hour.
lead over
There's going to be
to
some
Eric
traffic on exit.
Wineland.
I think we'll make it out
Now,
of position 12.
Well, we have a motor race on our hands, I think, for lack of
Pit in,
better
5,
phrase.
4, 3, 2.
Yeah, that is a
One.
very odd
Box
moment.
now.
And this is a long pit stop, actually. What, did we miss
Front
something
left,
with Antonio Costa?
85%, left
Hold on.
rear, 88.
Yeah, it's weird. Nick Terrell's in the lead now. He still needs to pit, but I'm not sure if it's I mean, it could be a system issue on Costa's end, which would cost him quite dearly in this race. I mean, come on. I saw an
Yeah,
opportunity.
traffic
I had to
behind.
take
Watch
it,
out, faster
but,
class
yeah,
car
let's
approaching.
just see what happens here. So It is wet.
Your tires are cold. Let's get a little heat in them.
Whew.
No contact to the wall.
Car
Just a
ahead's a
very
little dangerous. Car number 45.
And then this is where I'm. So we're gonna hop on board here.
Did he run out of fuel, maybe?
On your left, clear left.
Run out of fuel, maybe towed the rest of the way? I mean, that's what,
No. 'Cause
that's what
it's-
Marissa was saying, which, yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I'm honestly pretty baffled about that one.
Antonio Costa now unfortunately out of this race. So that changes everything in GTP. I don't know
What happened to
what
racing?
is
I know what happened to
happening,
acting. What happened to Costa?
but that changes
Acting.
everything as we go to
I'm not sure I saw you in the pits for 2 minutes.
What was that, Dwight?
Apley just disconnected from the race.
All right, so Dylan
Car
Ackler is
left,
out.
clear left.
Antonio Costa is out. So right now, Nick Terrell is in
Get
the
a fast
lead.
press car
Nick
behind
Terrell has a 49-second lead over Eric Wineland, and it's a 52-second lane time.
Right side.
51-second lane
Clear
time.
right.
So really, really quick with it. Nick Terrell has a chance to win this thing now.
E13.
My only other theory is maybe a hardware failure of some sort might have taken him out of this one. Because
number
granted, it's
95
of a
is getting
different
closer.
nature
Gaps now,
for hardware
1.0
failures
seconds.
and mechanical issues do appear in sim racing. I mean, I've seen championships decided because of a wheel breaking during a championship finale. So I have seen mechanical failures happen in this route, and it's usually like a pedal or the wheel maybe goes out or something on the sword, but
Costa's case, it may be the VR headset.
that too. Yeah. Oh wait,
Forget that
That's
Costa races in VR.
that's gotta be absolutely terrifying if your VR headset just quits on you, because your whole world just goes to black. And I don't know about you, but Matt, I would probably have a
20
code
minutes
brown if that
left.
happened.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that at all. And actually, look who we have down in chat here if they want to have a quick word. Antonio Costa joining us here in the booth. Antonio Costa, what happened?
Yeah, so I got like a Windows notification. I heard the noise, and then my headset decided to drop to 1 FPS in the pit lane. So I had Dylan basically blindly trying to guide me to my pit box, hoping I could like get it to jump back up in FPS, but it never happened. So Dylan's out.
You've just
I
run
was like, you know, he was watching it, and I would just end it. You know,
Your lap times are real
no
consistent.
point.
Keep it up.
I would have to reload the sim.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Never. I cannot believe that. I'm so sorry. That's frustrating.
Oh yeah, like I wish I could say that never happens, but I'm just surprised it wasn't a headset low battery notification. I have no clue what it was. So you know, Dylan, obviously, I really didn't lose much. I love this track though. I wish there was a bit more competition and whatnot. So
Absolutely. So, Antonio, thanks for taking the time to chat. Sorry, Windows and VR headsets are frustrating. When I was more apt in iRacing, I raced in VR myself, so I feel your pain on that one. But hopefully next week you can come back and knock things out of
Did you
Daytona.
start the race with full fuel?
hell yeah, that one's gonna be great as usual.
For sure. Thanks, Antonio.
See you guys.
Well, straight from the horse's mouth there, Patrick. VR failure. Been there, done that, put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah, I was thinking because there's such a weird thing in nature. I was actually thinking of something they may have to do with some pedals, but I mean, yeah, when your VR drops to 1 FPS, yeah, there's nothing you can really do at that point. So it
I
is
was not
just
ignoring you. I was just not in a position. to
outside
talk.
of his control.
No, I got it.
Unfortunate.
On your right.
He'll come back stronger next week.
Clear right.
I will say
That's what I
that.
kind of
Right
think
side.
Both of the BMW drivers have
Hold
been
your line.
absolutely electric
right.
this season. in
Alright, no worries.
GT,
Get your marks.
and
Let's
I
go get them back.
no doubt that they will come back stronger. This does bring up one thing though, is that for once, for the first time this season, it will not be a BMW winning overall here in Fuji. It has been either Costa or Ackley winning every single race, but now it's either going to be a Cadillac or the off chance that it might just be the Acura of Ada Garcia.
The car in front is car number 95.
Vodafone Racing winning. That is absolutely insane to say out loud. That is insane to say out loud. You know what? Instead of us saying more things out loud, we're going to take a couple minutes here.
Fast
Zach
cars
Murray,
racing
special
behind you.
request here for us to follow Zach for the temporarily loud engines. And I told Zach that I would. So you know what, Zach? Don't disappoint me on this one. We're going to take some temporarily loud engines, and we'll be back to bring you the end of this race.
Leaders pitting now.
Unmute time. Yay.
Don't go much wider, I'm gonna end up in the water.
I cannot believe that. Oh my gosh.
It's unlucky.
E13. This race isn't over yet.
Car left, clear left. Left side.
And
Oh,
then,
they
of
left.
course,
Refill my water real quick.
yeah, I'm gonna walk
Car
over
left.
for a
Huddle
second.
really is not fun.
Clear left.
Class leaders in this group with faster cars behind you. Good pass. Focus in front.
Think about recording that smile. Just a cheeky bump draft to give him overspeed and then cut under him in T1.
Left side. Clear left.
In a race, I managed to qualify really well for once. This was it. So I was going down a straight, and as I hit my braking point, my wheel decided to disconnect, so I had no brakes. I may have ended up in a wall.
Under a wall and a competitor, I suppose.
It was at the end of a long straight, so I went through the gravel, and I regained
15
my
minutes
pedals
left.
and my
Your
wheel about
race,
a meter
not
before I
theirs.
hit the
You
wall.
got this.
Safe to say my car got the
Sorted.
equivalent of a meatball flag. And I couldn't race,
There's some
because
faster
F1
cars
doesn't have
behind us
repairs.
here.
I mean, you can repair your front wing,
Watch out for the
but
car.
if you're
Right
tired
side.
and
Clear
your
right.
suspension, which goes kaboom, yeah, you're dead.
D12. That lap was a...
I mean,
right.
at least I know a thing or two about
Clear
how
right.
tires go.
Yeah, because you decided to put on wet tires at Qatar. Almost
I
dry.
almost blew my tires when I was doing a Zandvoort sprint earlier today. I was like, at the end of it, it was a 10-lap sprint, and
faster
my
car behind you.
BPMs were at 92% on the front left.
Rip.
I was literally at 92% tires on the front left, but boy, oh boy.
Car in front is car number 777.
I've raced in VR like twice, and I think I didn't have a headset failure, but dude, that is,
VR's trippy.
it is.
It's
Especially
too
when
hot for me personally.
I mean,
When I I've walked into a few
Faster cars
walls.
approaching.
my my AC in my apartment is like god tier, so I can make it a literal ice box while I use my MetaQuest.
My AC
Oh, it was really funny.
is in the garage.
Yeah, that's gonna make things a little toasty. Mine's upstairs in my upstairs bedroom.
Sorry to put you in that
My
spot.
PC is delayed for like the 3rd time in a row.
I mean, my tower's in Jacksonville, which I'm gonna probably go get at some point in the nearest future. Just whenever I
Are you
actually
gonna
get time
blow
to
up
make
your
a trip.
tire an hour before? And are you
I
gonna
swear
blow up
to
your
God.
tire an hour before?
If I do that, I am totally blaming you. I'm sending you my repair bill.
Oh fuck! It's USD, so it's gonna be like twice as expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Conversion rate's brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, it's really good. For example, let's say I get 10 USD, I'll get like what 50 to 80. But if I have to do it the other way, no.
Here,
I'm toast. Cooked.
Alright. Awful has a pit
back.
hit, correct?
Look at home, please.
Oh,
Matt Hissong's in the pits right now. Who are you looking for?
Not sure when
Awful Jeff, P1 Pro, GTD.
He has not been yet, though.
Okay, I figured. I'm like, there's no way this guy is this fucking fast.
No, he's pretty fucking fast.
I know he is.
Okay, you all ready?
Yep.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There's a faster class car behind you.
I'm along the way. I
Are
got
live for
bodied
the
by
final
an LMP2
11
and I
minutes and
damage
50
as well.
seconds of this race here. Big shout out to Zach Nerney, running the Corvette. Absolutely love this graphic. We're up and down the speedway as it goes here. That was a fun few minutes to listen to here. Malik Bass is in the pits, our penultimate LMP2 that needs to pit. Dwight pointed out to us here that Jeff Koffel in GTD Pro still needs to pit as well.
On your right.
So Nicholas Paletti is now
Clear right.
in. That is all
Gap
up.
2, car number 5 behind is increasing. It's now 1.7 seconds.
Still not hitting
1:46.42.
That's a break.
It's real consistent laps. Good job.
Great.
Gap 2, B1 behind is now.
Car left. Still there. Clear left.
Yeah, just running a little
Left
deep,
side.
so
Clear left. On your left.
yeah, this is dicey stuff here.
Hold your line.
It's odd to see that somebody just hasn't even
Hold your line.
pitted yet in this one. I mean, you
Hold
got
your line.
just over 10
Clear
minutes
left.
to go. So that's interesting that somebody has not stopped
Faster class
yet.
car behind you.
I mean, are they going for a no stop? Still gotta take those 4 tires. So yeah, I mean, really cutting it to the wire. No, Fuji isn't really noticed for its high tire wear. It's not exactly the highest degradation circuit, especially as a lot of the water to cool these tires off. But kind of weird to leave it this late.
I think this is a case of
That's half
someone
your
just
tank.
kind of being a little cheeky and just letting this run long here. Gap back from Jeff Koffel to Gage Hyams is 30 seconds. It's
10 minutes left here. Stay focused. Keep hitting your marks.
So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but for Jeff Koffel, this might not be working out the way Jeff wants to. Gage Hyams should recycle back. Jeff should recycle in second place with that 11-second gap to the front here. As we watch this
Sector
line
1 and 2 are 1.1 off the pace. Sector 3 is
with Jeff Koffel ahead,
0.29
Michael
off the
Bowman
pace.
behind with Aaron Clayball and David Kent. This is all in the battle for P5 as it runs here. 12th place overall in the category of GT combined. 5th place in GT, and they all are battling through. 9 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. You have LMP2s trying to snake their way through, and of course, the GTP
On your left.
has been one of attrition right now.
Still
Eric
there.
Wineland in the lead
Clear
by
left.
3 seconds over Nick Terrell. Antonio Costa, Dylan Ackley, MVT, Vodafone teammates in the BMWs, both coming down to their own incidents. For Dylan Ackley, it was contact with traffic. For Antonio Costa, it was Windows updates. Well, maybe not updates, but it was Windows and a VR headset disconnect.
E12.
Antonio Costa has told me that will not be a problem because come next season, making a flip into triples.
Interesting. Interesting indeed. I'll be curious to see how that one works out for this time around. It'll be interesting comparing when he does make the switch to triples. So it'll be interesting, as you do see, just the interesting way that traffic has really just kind of come together again, and luckily it comes at a good time for traffic to get on through, being this massive straight coming down the Daiichi corner, as it is going to be the Mustang now of Matt Hissong going on through, and Dane Harrison, or sorry, that is Dane Harrison with Matthew Marin just behind. And we're going to see how this battle really just does pan out. It's going to be a tricky battle. And we'll just have to see who can go ahead. Ford versus Ferrari. A rivalry is oldest time, and there goes the Ferrari up to the inside, trying to get the move done onto the Mustang. And that is, oh, pit contact and the belt into the wall! The Ford versus Ferrari rivalry takes a new turn, literally into the wall.
Well,
Get 3 on.
yeah, call that one 6 one way, half dozen the other. I'm sure that will be looked at post-race by the stewards here. As now here comes Christopher Ondera trying to capitalize to get a move done, as I am very much sure that Dayton Harrison and Matthew Marin both picked up some pretty significant damage on that one.
Please
We'll
don't, Kyle.
very
Go around the
quickly
right
play
side.
that and see if we can take a look at
You
how
guys
that
had
one
an
happened
opening
here.
there.
So they're coming out of the corner, and oh, it looks like it's miscommunication, trying to
Hold
get
up
space for
position.
the LMP2 to get out of the way here as we
There
go.
was 200 feet of track to the right.
You were drifting to the right, and I think really Matthew Marin got away with that most,
clear, please.
all things considered, compared to Dayton Harrison. But I think they're both still out on track.
Hey,
They
Nerd
are.
Nerdy, can you
Neither
please
one
get the
has
free
pulled into the pits here to take repairs. And now, unfortunately for Matthew Marin, it's trying to hold off Christopher Ondera, defending the inside into turn 1. Ondera going to try to work that Weber McLaren the long way around if he can, looking through, and again a little bit more
Next
contact
car
there.
ahead, it's not
Ferrari
the
versus
driver.
McLaren
Careful
this
going
time,
number
as they now
45.
have Nicholas Paletti trying to work through.
Yeah, Nico's Paletti now trying to get through, and he does get through successfully. As there's just under 6 minutes left to go in this race here. And this is going to be just a big battle here. Ondera versus Marin. Ferrari versus McLaren. This is going to be a beautiful battle. Christopher Ondera tries to swing it around town, trying to swing it around the outside. He's going to try to get one onto Matthew Marin. He's got the inside line. Ondera's got the move. And the McLaren will get ahead, but can he stay ahead? Because you have Matthew Marin in that Ferrari really just trying to just bring it on back. And he's going to go ahead and just try to push his way on through. Matthew Marin trying to get through, but I just don't think he's got the pace compared to Ondera, but there's still a handful of laps left to go here in this one. And I mean, it's going to be a big fight. And then you do have a Mustang just up the road ahead.
Don't worry about the lap
So
time.
that's going to
Just
be
do what you need to.
another
Get your
obstacle
marks.
that you'll have to go ahead and fight through. But you got to think, what's the damage on those two? Because those two did have a big coming together earlier on. Dwight Hibbs in the Hatsune Miku Good Smile Mercedes. And you can just see the amount of gravel that's on that outskirts of the track from people just going a bit too deep. And then we have the Sunshine Rexy. Gonna go ahead and just try to hold on. Aaron Clayball and Daniel Kent. It is Porsche versus Mustang as they battle through.
Looking through here at these battles as they come along again, as lap traffic tries to work, or as faster traffic tries to work through. Nicholas Paletti now
Fast car
working
approach.
past this battle as Clayball and Daniel Kent are trying to sort themselves out in the run for 4th place, or 5th place here in GTD. Down the inside goes Mustang here on the 95, gets a good move through, and 95 today representing Bucky's. I'm sorry, it's a Bucky's Rexy? Are we?
Didn't we joke about it being a Bucky's Rexy? I think, yeah, we joked about it last week, I think.
Okay, you know what?
Although,
I got
from an
nothing,
angle,
actually.
from an angle, I see some red dots. If it was black, then we'd have a SpongeBob Rexy, which I do not think I am mentally prepared for. Watch next week. That's exactly.
Gap to the 11 behind now. 0.3.
Yeah, we might.
I know exactly what's coming on.
You have 3 laps of fuel left.
Good job.
On your right.
I want to jump back here,
Clear right.
back with Chris Frondera and Dayton Harrison now going side by side here as Dayton Harrison is trying to work forward, and well, this is down towards turn 1, pull back into the slipstream as Ondera was defending the inside line. Harrison on the brakes there, Matthew Marin just behind, and that shuffles that one up. Dwight Hibbs, sir, you have Michael Bowman about a half second behind, trying to challenge you for P3 and GTD. And as you hear, I know is the answer. 2 minutes 45 seconds left to go, and I have some news to report in the front. A second and a half the gap between Eric Wineland and Nick Terrell heading into the final 2.5.
Track's warming
Gap
up.
now
It's now
opening.
81
It closed
degrees.
down to a second and a half, I think, because Eric was trying to get past traffic. But we have some challenges up here, potentially, in the overall.
And like we brought up earlier, that this will be the first time a BMW has
Give me
not
Patrick Ryan,
taken
I'm
overall
trying to
victory
run.
here. And I mean, it's looking likely to be a Cadillac, but I mean, still an off chance that it could be Ada Garcia in the Acura. It's more than likely going to be one of these two. Eric Wineland does have some pretty good pace,
2 minutes left.
building out a little bit of the gap to Nick Terrell in the back, but we'll see if Eric Wineland can go ahead and grab a win in that Wheeling Cadillac.
All right.
As he continues to push, he does have
Hold your line.
just up ahead.
Hold your line.
Now at the best part to overtake
Stay
traffic,
right.
so it really shouldn't be a big concern for him
Right side.
as he makes his way down this
Still there.
Fuji
How hard
straight.
are you praying for that white flag?
And
Still there. Clear right.
should
That's the first car
actually
behind you.
be about, okay, not quite one to go,
On your
maybe
left. Clear left.
one to go here, potentially.
You have a slowdown from the
Wineland
Ballard.
slows down by about a second. Well,
Yeah.
first probably.
I thought I-
There's going to be well a second back. But also that would make
My
this
heart
the final
sank when you
lap,
hit the
so
brakes.
we might get a bonus lap by like 2 seconds, which is always my favorite thing to have happen, honestly, this year. Eric Wineland now getting a bit of breathing room here into the last 60 seconds, having to work through some traffic and having to work along here as we pull up the comparison here between Wineland and Terrell. And again, you see that traffic. What's our famous saying? What's our famous saying? I'm not even going to say it. I've said it enough. I don't feel like saying it again today here as we go down gap 0.8 of a second. Here is the McLaren up ahead. That is Christopher Ondera, who unfortunately Wineland meets at the worst time here. Can Nick Terrell navigate a bit better? It looks like the answer is a bit of a no. Wineland parking the bus, or Ondera parking the bus. Wineland trying to work to outside. Terrell trying to work inside. You've got lap traffic everywhere. 15 seconds left on the
Clear
clock.
right.
Is this final lap here as we go down the front stretch and they draft behind Aaron Clayball coming to the line? We're looking to see, is this it?
10.
It's gonna be right on the marker. Final lap, we get the bonus. We get the bonus lap, just like we wanted, and the battle is back on between the Cadillacs.
All right, and this is where things are going to get a little bit interesting between these two, because this is where, for Nick Terrell, you've got to absolutely send it. You have one lap to try to get this win, and you have nothing you can hold back at this point. So traffic's coming through. That is, of course, the Mustang of Daniel Kent and Michael Bowman. They're battling through. Nick Terrell's on him. Nick Terrell is on him here in the final 60 seconds. I think he's got it, but now he gets caught in that corner. Can he come through and along here? As Eric Wineland managed to pull off the biggest case of capitalization. He took the lead after pit stops,
On your right.
hitting a bit early. Dwight
Right.
hits there,
Right
coming
side.
through, and they both work
Clear
their way
right.
through. Nick Terrell flashing
Okay,
the lights,
getting
a
this
big
time.
desperate dive on the brakes, heading into the final second.
Got half a
Yeah,
gallon
it's
left.
really make or break time now if you are Nick Terrell, because you want to get this win. Michael Bowman's been black flag, but right now we'll stay focused on the battle for the overall race win. Eric Wineland ahead of Nick Terrell. It's two Cadillacs trying to be the first Cadillac to win. It's going to be a drag race to the line. The lights are flashing. It's going to be a slipstream, but in the end, Eric Wineland will take the win. Here at Fuji, he wins. He breaks the BMW streak, and Eric
B10,
Wineland
that's it. Good job.
just had the Nick Terrell, and that one really came down to the wire.
Final margin of victory, 0.4 of a second between Wineland and Terrell. That is a matter of just one corner exit for these two GTP Cadillacs.